Internal Revenue Service IRS tax news. What employers need to know about repayment of deferred payroll taxes. COVID tax tip 2021-32 March 10, 2021. To give people a needed temporary financial boost, the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act allowed employers to defer payment of the employer's share of Social Security tax. IRS Notice 2020-65, there's a link to that here, allowed employers to defer withholding and payment of the employee's Social Security tax on certain wages paid in calendar year 2020. Employers must pay back these deferred taxes by their applicable dates. So this, of course, an attempt to be dealing with the downturns that many companies may be experiencing with regards to the coronavirus and the economic impact of it. Obviously, it being a deferral, however, means that it could provide temporary relief, but could also kind of build up some taxes that are going to be owed basically in the future. And we want to make sure that we're going to keep up to date with the payroll taxes as much as possible. Payroll taxes, one, can be a little bit more confusing just in general. And when you're talking about the employee portion of the payroll taxes, then it gets a little bit messy because you're actually paying the taxes on behalf of the employees. So that in particular, you want to basically keep up to date on, because that's not just missing your taxes. That's also basically, not paying. That's basically taking money from the employees as well, or it can be perceived that way by the IRS. We typically want to be in compliance with the payroll taxes, even probably more so than other taxes because of the added complications with those types of things. So the employee deferral applied to people with less than $4,000 in wages every 4 weeks, or an equivalent amount for other pay periods. It was optional for most employers, but was mandatory for federal employees and military service members. Repayment of the employee's portion of the deferral started January 1st, 2021 and will continue through December 31st, 2021. Payments made by January 3rd, 2022 will be timely because December 31st, 2021 is a holiday. So obviously if there's a holiday, they typically go to the next business day there. The employer should send repayments to the IRS as they collect them. If the employer does not repay the deferred portion on time, penalties and interest will apply to any unpaid balance. Employees should see their deferred taxes in the withholdings from their pay. They can check with their organization's payroll office for details on the collection schedule. How to repay the deferred taxes. Employers can make the deferral payments through the electronic federal tax payment system, or by credit or debit card, money order, or with a check. There's a link to those items here. These payments must be separate from other tax payments to ensure they apply to the deferred payroll tax balance. So when you're making the payments, like always, when you're making a payment to the IRS, you want to make sure that you are clear as to what the payment is going to, so that you apply it to the proper area. That's going to, once again, be especially important with payroll, because you're making these multiple types of payments, and if they apply it to the wrong period, then it could cause problems in the future. So when you're making the payments, make sure you separate them out to other types of payments and apply the proper location to where those payments should be going. So IRS systems won't recognize the payment if it is with other tax payments or sent as a deposit. The EFTPS will soon have a new option to select deferral payment. The employer selects deferral payment and then changes the date to the applicable tax period for the payment. So they're going to be adding this, obviously this being a new thing for the EFTPS, which is a common type of payment system for the payroll information. And they're going to add hopefully this new option, which will make it easier to make sure you apply the payment out to where it needs to be applied, so you don't have any kind of problems with matching up where the payment should go in the future, which aren't fun problems to be dealing with. So the employers can visit the EFTPS.gov. There's a link to that here, or call 800-555-4477 or 800-733-4829 for details. If the employee no longer works for the organization, the employer is responsible for the payment of the entire deferred amount. The employer must collect the employee's portion using their own recovery methods. So more information can be found at the links below. There's Notice 2020-65, Notice 2021-11, and Paying Your Taxes. There's links to those items here. There'll be a link to this in the description.